Good evening and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustment, which is being held pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Law C-231, Laws of New Jersey dated 1975. Notice of this meeting was advertised in the local source and the Star Ledger, the newspapers of record, and notice has been posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building adjacent to the municipal clerk's office. Roll call, Mr. Manguso.
Mr. DiGiovanni?
Here.
Mr. Wiley?
Here.
Ms. Alexander?
Here.
Ms. Martins is absent. Mr. Bentavegna?
Here.
Ms. Scott?
Here.
Mr. McNeil?
Here.
Mr. Champy?
Here. There being a quorum present, this meeting is now declared open. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the October 12th, 2022 minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the meeting minutes of October 12th, 2022 be approved and written as dispensed with their reading.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Mr. Chairman, it be noted that I was absent at that meeting.
So noted, Mr. Wiley. Mr. Manguso, are there any communications?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have two communications regarding both cases tonight that council will address when they're called each individually.
Thank you. Proceeding. Our first order of business this evening is calendar number 3357, and I have to apologize if I mispronounce the name, Abula, located at 2900 Vauxhall Road, Block 4806, Lot 14, convert a single-family residence into an office space located in the RB zone.
Yes,
Counsel.
good evening, Mr. Chairman. Stephen Hale, representing the applicant, Abdullah. Yeah, we did send a letter in, and our client requested that we withdraw the application. So I apologize, we just received notice of that late yesterday and sent that letter.
Yes, for the record, Mr. Chairman, this is Rob Pansul, the board attorney. That's one of the communications that the board secretary referenced. Mr. Hale's office did note that it's a withdrawal, which means that the case does not need to be heard, nor do we need to announce it any further other than it's being withdrawn. So if anybody here on that case tonight, it's being withdrawn from the Board of Adjustment's agenda, and if they ever come back, they'd have to renotice and publish in the newspaper.
Mr. Pansula, do we need a motion?
I think just for formality, you can have a motion and a second on all in favor, just to acknowledge that it's being withdrawn and removed from our calendar.
Mr. Chairman, I move the calendar number 3357 be removed from the calendar as it has been withdrawn by the applicant.
McNeil, second.
Roll call.
Mr. DiGiovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Wiley?
Yes.
Ms. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bentavegna?
Yes.
Ms. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. McNeil?
Yes.
And Mr. Champy?
Yes.
Thank you. And again, I apologize for the late notice, but we just received that word from our client.
All right, our next order of business is calendar number 3403, NB Home Improvements, LLC, located at 1225-1227 Morris Avenue, Block 1408, Lots 7 and 8, mixed-use building with retail and multifamily residential. Counselor?
Yes, again, Stephen Hale representing applicant MB Homes. And again, I apologize. We just received in the review letter from Colliers. It's dated yesterday, but it came into our office this afternoon. Obviously, our professionals need time to address those also. And I'm going to discuss this more with Mr. Pansula. The zone has changed here. As you know, the municipality did zone changing. And the use, we were originally before this board for use variance because in the business zone, the residential portion wasn't permitted. Now that in fact is permitted, we would still technically be before this board now because there's a density variance, a D5 variance, but it's only over by 0.0 or 0.3%. So we have to review this with our development team and see if any change can be made. Not that we don't want to stay here, but if you can eliminate a D variance and say, so I'm going to review that with Mr. Manguso and Mr. Pansula, but we spoke a little bit before the meeting, at least for the purposes, if the client wants to keep the project the way it is, I think we'll probably renotice anyway because we have a density variance rather than a D1 variance. But we kicked around the next available date when we know our professionals will be around and have a meeting. I think we talked about December 7th.
Just to be clear, Steve, are you looking to make an announcement to that date without further notice? Should you
Correct,
want
yeah,
the
we
option
could.
to go forward with the current app? Okay,
Correct.
okay.
And yes, December 7th is what?
December 7th, yeah.
Can I have a motion to adjourn tonight and reschedule for December 7th?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I move that calendar number 3403, NB Home Improvements, be tabled until December 7th at our regular meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. DiGiovanni?
Yes.
Mr. Wiley?
Yes.
Ms. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Bentavegina?
Yes.
Ms. Scott? Mr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Champy?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you again, and I truly, again, apologize for the late note, but having just received that letter, which we have to respond to.
Just for the public's benefit, too, this is Rob Pansul, the board attorney. This case, which has been adjourned one other time, is being adjourned till December 7th. That's a regular meeting night of this board, 7:30 in this room. For now, you will not get further notice if it's the same application that you're here for this evening. I don't want to get too much into the substance because it's not being heard tonight, but if it changes, I know council made a statement that there were some potential adjustments to the site plan, and it does change the application, then you would get notice, and there's even a chance it wouldn't be at this board, but for
No,
now.
Mr. Spencer, I think we'll stipulate that we would renotice because of the density variance.
Okay.
Yeah, so
If
we
it
will
changes, though,
renotice.
assuming you change, so.
No, the way it is now, it triggers the D variance density.
Right.
So we'll renotice regardless.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. But for now, we're on our December 7th. We have that
Correct.
slot for you.
And we stipulate to any appropriate extension of time.
Thank you. So noted for the record.
All right. Well, thank you again, and apologize for the late notice on that.
Mr. Chairman, there being no further business before us this evening, I move we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved.